New Mexico, everybody and their mom has an opinion about Chaco, but you know what everybody doesn't have? Is the willingness to just go ask the natives that live there. So luckily with Team Zamora, we had that very exact opportunity. So as we made our way up to Farmington, we set the day aside to go speak with the Allottees. So the people directly affected by this buffer zone. And to nobody's surprise, the individuals that are most affected by this issue or this conflict around Chaco Canyon are the most ignored. They're not being heard. Actually, it's worse than that because not being heard is one issue, but being blatantly ignored is something entirely different.
Good morning, everybody. We're here in Chaco Canyon today, touring Chaco and looking things over. And we have our friends with us here today.
Delora Jesus, Navajo Allottee from Naize.
Esther Waleto, Navajo Allottee from Pueblo Pintado.
It's a beautiful day today. Tell us a little story about what you've seen as you've grown up here in Chaco and around Chaco and where you live.
Well, growing up, we were always told to respect the grounds here. You know, it belonged to our ancestors and way back. So we were told just to have respect for the land. So that's how, we've always had respect for it growing up, and it's supposed to be sacred. So that's how, we see Chaco. We always, have a lot of respect for it. And as far as I can remember from my grandparents, that they told us that the Navajos were the caregivers of the land. They always took care of it. And the park's been always protected, and we have relatives that still own allotments in the park, but they're not, able to visit the site where they grew up because of all the new laws that are, put in place with the Park Service. But yeah, it's still beautiful, and we still have respect for the land, and it's still pretty. No one's destroying Chaco. It's still here, and that's how I see it.
And we hear the stories about the buffer zone and how Chaco's going to get destroyed. What's your point of view on the buffer zone? What do you?
Yes, I have not heard about the buffer zone until I started working for the Bureau of Land Management, and I was part of the team on working with the Resource Management Plan Amendment. And the buffer zone was talked about at 3 miles, and then it went out to 5 miles. And when it got to 8 miles, I retired from BLM, and the next thing I knew, it was at 8 miles, and now it's 10 and beyond. I don't know what the rationale is for the buffer zone, but I think Chaco Canyon is a beautiful place. It has not been destroyed, or it has not been displaced by the local people. They have a lot of respect for the land and its setting. And we were always told by our grandparents that maintain the land, use it. We're only here for a while, and enjoy it, and let your children enjoy it for the future. And that's where we're at until through the news medias we heard that Chaco is being destroyed by oil and gas. And as far as I know, for miles, I have not seen oil and gas well sites and or pipelines displacing the landscape. And I don't believe in the buffer zone. And where I feel that my family has lived on Chaco Mesa for years, 40 to 50 years. even my youngest brother was born on Chaco Mesa. And we've always lived there and occupied it. And we respect the land that we use. And we appreciate what our grandparents teach us. And we were always told that the ancient ones occupied the land. And for us to leave everything alone that is theirs, it's not ours, and to leave it as it is. And to date, we have people coming to the area that I know that have taken metates, manos. They've even dug burial grounds and taken pottery sherds, whereas I don't think the local people would do that. Where we've been taught over the years that this is the land that we respect and use it, and for the future generations, and that's where we're at.
So on the Allottees lands, do you feel like the buffer zone restricts you and keeps you from using your land however you decide to use it?
I feel that the people that live out here as part of the communities use the land for grazing, and they use the land for their home sites, their residentials, and I think people are being threatened by the buffer zone that we don't exactly know, or the people don't exactly know what the buffer zone is all about. Some of them have not even heard about it. And where they're going to go with the oil and gas production and the income that they get from the royalties they get, they're just confused about it. We're not getting the feedback from the people in our own government, and the federal government as well as the state, and so we're unsure what the future holds for us. That's the feedback that I get from the people.
So do you feel like the government has overreached, and we call it a land grab today, that they've overreached and they have formed this land grab, and now you have restrictions on the land that belongs to you? Is that how you feel about it? Or?
Exactly. That's how we feel about it. Well, I've talked to people that have used the land for years, for generations, and they have never heard of being manipulated for the way they restructure the rules and regulations, policies and procedures, and well, for that matter, government regulations on how we use the land. And
do you know of any other buffer zones in the area?
I don't know of any.
So this is the first buffer zone you've ever heard of?
Yes.
Yeah.
The vocabulary itself, the buffer zone, is all new to us. And the people that I talk to in my community are saying we don't want it. Chaco Canyon is already fenced in. They have their boundaries. And why are they going beyond that?
Why are they keeping the people from benefiting from their land?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I hear that through the news media that there's tons of oil and gas production out there. And I don't see any.
We drove in this morning and we didn't see any oil wells.
No.
All the way from the main highway to here, we didn't see a single oil well.
Right.
No drilling rigs, no oil trucks, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
No.
None.
And if there's anything that the water wells or the oil and gas pipelines are being constructed, they're put back in place in compliance with the environmental justice.
And not only did we not see any oil lines or water lines, any kind of construction, but then on the other hand, we saw a lack of electrical lines being put to the homes where they could have electricity on the homes. And we saw a couple of homes that were close to the power line, but yet they weren't giving, for some reason, they don't have electricity to the homes.
Right. We did see 2 or 3 areas where the people didn't have water lines or electrical lines, only because the BIA and the Navajo Nation and the Bureau of Land Management did not come back to the table to finish the last phase of the land exchanges for these people, and they're still sitting on the same ground that they're sitting on. But they went through the first and second and third phase of the exchanges only because these people that are occupying government lands didn't have electricity or water. But the last phase did not go or did not take effect. And for what reason, we don't know. So those people are still sitting without water and electricity.
So as far as you can see, what the issue is with getting the improvements to these homes is that the different entities don't have some kind of memorandum of understanding so that these easements and these water lines and electrical lines can come through. Is that what the issue is?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's a lack of communication and maybe a lack of people getting together, maybe the representation of the people, where we could come together and get these things done and have running water and electricity and to these homes where people can live better and on these lands that they want to live on.
Mm-hmm. And the one thing too is that we have all these representatives. They serve in our district, and they've said verbally and out on the media and TV, and they say they represent us, but I'm going to be honest, we haven't seen them. We have not seen Martin Heinrich. We have not seen Melanie Stansberry. We have not seen Teresa Fernandez. And, but yeah, those are and Ben Ray Lujan now and then, but really, we haven't met with them. Never met with the Navajo Allottees on our issues at all.
And Navajo Allottees ought to have a voice.
Yes, we want a voice. Yes,
they're being greatly affected here.
Mm-hmm. And we're like, are we being held? Some that's been long gone a long time ago. Are they trying to control us? Are they trying? That's how we feel. What did we ever do to deserve what's being impacted to us?
The way you're being treated.
Yes, the way we're being treated.
Give us a little story about the Allottees and how they wind up being Allottees. And then we have this land that we call checkerboard here in this area and owned by, is it 5 different entities? So name them off and we'll go through them. So it's BLM, BIA,
Navajo Nation,
the
state of New Mexico,
State, and then BOR.
And Navajo Allottees.
And Navajo Allottees. So.
And don't forget the Bureau of Reclamation.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think we stated that one in BOR. So
right.
So it just gets to be a complicated issue where we need some kind of agreement between everybody where these easements can be put in place, and the power companies would agree to come in and put these electrical lines up to the homes and stuff. and it hasn't happened yet. It's almost like we're living in a third world country where we don't have the capabilities of it happening, but that's not the reason it's not there. The reason it's not there is because the agreements haven't been reached. Am I correct in saying that? And
Yes. It just seems like it's just being extended. You know, we've had so many comment phases, and then they'll do another assessment, and then it carries on, you know. And that's one of the things. And then another issue is that lack of consultation. We've never seen, you know, the people I mentioned. And here they say that they had consultation with us, but they never came and talked to or even meet with. And then of course too, we're all worried because we all know that the person, or Deb Haaland, is running for governor, and she doesn't support the natural resources.
Mm-hmm. And the natural resources could benefit you greatly.
Yes, and
because then you would have money for infrastructure.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We're talking roads. The road we came in was pretty bad.
Yeah.
We're talking roads. We're talking culverts where the washout was there in the creek. We're talking about water infrastructure, electrical infrastructure, a lot of different things that you could use your money for that should be yours.
Yeah.
It's part of your land. It's under your land. You have the rights, the mineral rights to that land, and the Allottees have been treated in a way that where you feel like it's a land grab. It's there's something wrong here. Where's our rights, and why are we being treated this way?
Yeah, and then of course they're saying that it's so sacred. I mean, we have all these people come in every other day, and it's not sacred. It's not a sacred ground anymore. I mean, for me personally, if it's sacred, it's a national park, and it's not sacred because we have all. Mm-hmm.
It's sacred ground, but it hasn't been treated. In that manner.
Yes.
They've turned it into a national park, and now sacred ground. You got your customs believe that you leave sacred ground alone.
Yes.
That's why when you were talking about where you live, it's that you leave the artifacts there.
Right.
You don't touch them. You don't remove them. You leave those artifacts there.
Right.
Kind of tell us why that is that you believe in that.
Well, it came down from our grandparents, our parents, and we're always told, even as we took the sheep out to the pastures, or when we went out to herd sheep, leave those artifacts alone. They're not yours. If you touch them, you'll get contaminated. And only the medicine man that know how to apply the healing will fix that. And even at that, our own medicine men are scarce, and just like anything else, they're not here with us anymore. And
these are things that should be respected.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And like over and over, I hear people say, if Chaco Canyon is so sacred, why are all these people from all over the world coming in and out? They're climbing the rocks, they're walking the park, and why is it? But we're told that we're not allowed to do a lot of the activities that, like running, grazing our livestock near the park, or the Indian allotted lands are sitting not right outside the park, but within the distance of the park, are drilling for oil and gas, and we're not getting our income, that big of an income out of it. What we get back, our share, only supports very little with the way the economy is going at this point. And sometimes we get our share in an amount where you can only fill up the gas tank to go where you want to go at home. It doesn't cover groceries. It doesn't cover our children's education. It's nothing compared to what we used to get a few years back.
So you're receiving less and less all the time?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for giving your testimony and as we look at this, as we move forward, and we're moving forward into the unknown, but we try to make things better, right? That's
Yes.
what we want to do.
Yes.
You want to leave a better place for your kids, and I want to leave a better place for my kids.
Right.
And not just forget the past.
That's always been the mission and the vision that the Bureau of Land Management has. And leave something for our children
Yes.
and for them to enjoy.
Yes.
And we're not doing it. There's a lack of communication with the area that we live in, which is checkerboard. It seems like every time a project is proposed and implemented, the excuse is the lands that we're dealing with are not the land that we want to cross for water lines, roads, and we don't have the money. That's always the excuse they give us. And so where do we go? And we have people coming into to campaign and making promises, but we never see them. We never see them come back, and it's repetitious, over and over and over. And anymore, just like today, we tried to convince a young lady to vote, and we were trying to talk to her, and she said, quote, "I don't believe in these politicians anymore. They're lies, so don't push it." So that's where our people are losing trust and faith in people that come out here and talk to us about, vote.
We need to do better.
Right.
We need to do better.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the interview and talking with us and helping us to understand what this really means, what it's all about.